Good evening and welcome to race coverage of the iRacing UK F3 League Season 2 Round 1 from Watkins Glen. I am your commentator for today. I'm Chris Rowlands. It's good to see you all. Let's quickly run through the grid because they've just finished qualifying and we have got 35 drivers to get through here. So on pole we've got Sam Hermer. This is his first race in the league, so congratulations on one pole in one race. Joining him on the front row, we've got Jerome Lamy, followed on row 2 by Gavin Petty and Lee Aberdeen. Last season's champion, Matt Laubscher, is in 5th, which indicates the quality of the field we've got here. Stuart Milne in 6th, Nathaniel Simpson 7th, Carl Cranswick 8th, Chris Foskett 9th, Ben White 10th, Dare Flock 11th, Sam Hooper 12th. And then let's just quickly have a look at a bit further down the grid. We've got Cockram, Annells, Dunn, Webb, Roberts, Ralph, Stather, Webb, McGarity, Nicholl, Smith, Hudson, Willoughby, who's organising the league, down in 25th, Brandon, Isherwood, Nicholl, Empringham, Balmer, Watts, Griffin, Hatton, Cadmore and Bennett. And so many drivers on the grid that we're nearly ready to get going already. So let's line up and wait for the lights to go out. As we said, it's 35 drivers, 20 laps of Watkins Glen here. So it's going to be a shade under 40 minutes. Expecting to see a very competitive race. As they start revving, the lights will be up soon. And they're off. So it seems like a clean start so far from everyone. Let's follow them into turn 1, see if they can all get through cleanly. First couple seem to. We've got Lee Aberdeen side by side here, and they've come together. Oh dear, that's not the start we wanted. Oh, and it's taken out Carl Cranswick as well. That's not good. We've got lots of people, it looks like here. That's about 6 or 7 cars. Oh dear. Well, let's follow the leaders then, see if they've at least made it through. And it looks like Lamy's going for a move on Hermer already. Are they going to do anything to turn 1? Seems like they're keeping it safe. Let's look a bit further back. I think Dareflock and Ben White are 3 wide, along with Chris Foskett. And they're all coming through safely as well. A bit further back, I think everyone's made it through. We can go back and follow the leaders. And let's see if we can recover from quite an intense start. We've got lots of cars still to follow. I think the drivers who got caught in that initial incident looks to have been Lee Aberdeen and Matt Laubscher. And then in the follow-through, we've lost Cranswick, Hooper, Ralph, Watts and Hatton, I believe. That's very unfortunate. But we've still got a good pack at the front here. Lamy is just sticking his nose out as we come into the hill. But it's lap 1, not a good time to be making that move. So just going to hold back with Gavin Petty keeping them honest just behind. And there's not many gaps opened up across the field except for this top 5 who've got nearly 2 seconds back to Dareflock in 6th. And we're coming through here into turn 10, turn 11. Turn 1, you really want to get that run into the long straight up to the bus stop chicane. So let's see if Jerome can do anything like that. He is right on the tail there. Let's follow him from behind, see what it looks like. Where is that? Sorry, bear with me. I'm on my own here. There we go, roll bar. And he's going to see if he can get the draft up the S's here. He's less than 3/10 behind Sam Hermer. So he has got a lot of defending to do here as he pulls out to the side. They are side by side. Lamy has just pulled slightly ahead, but that doesn't necessarily mean the move is done. Hermer takes the inside of the first spin. They're still 2 side by side. And they're going to go side to side round the outer loop as well. Gavin Petty is just going to keep them honest right behind because there is no point sending it this early in the race. We've got 19 more laps to go. And it looks like Jerome has made that move stick. Gavin Petty's now having a look at Hermer as well. Could that one lost position turn into 2? So far, we seem okay there. Stuart Milne's caught up. And now Gavin Petty's got something to think about behind him as well. Very intense start here. And they're all going to go one by one into that corner. We've got another fight in the back here. Chris Foskett and Ben White. Foskett having a little look on the inside, deciding against doing anything too rash this early on. As we're saying, 19 laps to go. Plenty of occasions to try and get those positions. And we're doing very well here with these top guys. Some of them sort of I would say Nathaniel Simpson down. Probably wouldn't have expected to be quite this high up this early, considering how many strong drivers we've just lost. But we still appear to have 27 drivers in the running, so a lot of traffic to go through. Stuart Milne was actually fastest that time round. Very wide line from Sam Homer and Jerome Lamy there. Anyone going to be able to take advantage of that? It looks like we've actually got some lap traffic coming out of the pits here, so this could affect what's going on. We can actually get a track map up so we can keep an eye on what's going on there. If we just get the positions. Yeah, they've given way there. That's very good to see from those lap markers because they're running their own race. They've had a fast repair, but we don't want to see them interfering with the lead of this race. Although it does appear Stuart Milne got caught in it because he's dropped 2 seconds back. But we've still got this front three pack here. Sam Homer sandwiched by Lamy in first and Petty in third. I would say Lamy and Petty, who raced last season, are pretty much identical pace-wise. So this could be a very interesting battle. But let's just swap back and have a look at the White Flock Foskett battle here. Again with the traffic, one of them being Carl Cranswick there, being very good. And they are neck and neck coming through here with some more traffic. So this is very stressful stuff for the drivers, I'm sure. Chris going side by side here with Dare Flock, and I believe Chris has got the move done. But again, all of that traffic on the inside, this is stressful, especially into turn 9. It's the lowest grip turn on the track. But everyone seems to have made it through there successfully. But it's a bit tricky to keep our eyes off of this front battle here. Let's have a look from Petty as we go into turn 1, see if anyone's willing to do anything. If anyone can nail that turn 1 to get a good run up into there. And actually, Petty on Homer does seem to be the likeliest thing here. They've all taken a very wide line again. It is the fastest way to do once you're confident, but you don't want to go too far wide, end up on the grass, and that really compromises your speed coming up here. Petty, it's just gaining on Homer. Is he going to be able to take the inside? Homer has given it to him. Are we going to see something into the bus stop? We've already seen... no. Petty has just pulled slightly out there, probably for the best, because, again, we've got a long time to go, lots of opportunities to take that drafting overtake. But we've got plenty of other battles throughout the field to look at. So let's go and have a look at Nathan Willoughby and I believe Mitchell Webb just coming through the bus stop. I think Willoughby's lost quite a bit of pace there because he was neck and neck with Webb just before the bus stop. If you don't get that move done, that's sometimes the trouble because you obviously have to adjust your braking point depending on where the guy in front of you is going to stop. And again, why ruin your own race so early on? But let's have another look as well at Foskett, who's keeping White honest. White has managed to get back ahead. And we've got other drivers here as well. So we've got Flock just behind them. So that's another nice 3-car battle developing. We've got fights throughout the field. Notably, let's have a look at Paddy Bennett, who started bang last and is up into 17th now. So he's really taken advantage of all of the incidents we've had to start with. He does have a knack of doing this. In last season's Skippy League, he did this once or twice, started near the back and ended up in very strong positions. But we've not seen anyone yet try and pull any silly moves in any of the low grip corners. Everything so far looks to have been the bus stop. And we have got Sam Homer right on the back of Jerome Lamy now. He was a full half a second faster on that last lap. He caught straight back up again, and this time it looks like he's got a run going. They do have to worry because it appears Peter Stather has lap traffic just up ahead, but that shouldn't affect them yet. Lamy's chosen to go defensive, unlike what Homer did with Petty on the previous lap, and Homer's gone through. So I think Homer has made better use of the draft there. Perhaps he's running a lower downforce setting, and that's just allowed him to get through before we got to the outer loop here. And now he's just got to worry about that traffic as he maximises the circuit there, nearly touching the grass. But that's what an experienced driver can do. They know where the limits of these tracks are, and Watkins Glen really rewards maximising the track just because of how high speed most of these corners are. You can really carry a speed through. So we should see some very entertaining battles as we come through here. And they've pulled out on Gavin Petty. Petty's made a mistake somewhere, and now he's got Milne for company 2 seconds back. And, it looks like they've caught at a very tricky time there. Lamy will be pleased to see this. You can just see how little confidence they've got on the throttle round that corner. And well done there to the lapped car for getting out of the way as soon as he could. That is going to really help with the racing today if we can see that from our lap traffic, and hopefully long may it continue. And here we go. About half a second gap as it comes through. Another 7/10 on Lamy there. So Homer's showing the early pace for sure. But we've got a few drivers here who've all managed sub 140s as we come through this lap. Everyone in the top 7. And then Cockram and Roberts have managed sub 140s as well. So we've got a very competitive field. So we should see lots more battling here as we go back to Bennett and Isherwood. Isherwood looking for a move on Bennett into turn 1. Is he going to try it? It looks like he is. Is that perhaps the place to make that move? Because now Paddy is going to have the run as we come up to the bus stop. In fact, they're still side by side. So Paddy's done very well there to recognise the move's coming. Braked earlier. He got on the throttle earlier. But it's not done yet. It seems like Isherwood has got the lower downforce setting because he's actually pulling back ahead of Paddy. Is that perhaps the draft of the cars in front? No, it wouldn't be. They're miles ahead. And Isherwood's taken that position back. So that's good driving there as well. We've got so many different battles to try and look after here. Let's have a look at James Cockram here with Duncan Roberts because they're going for it too. Nearly making a move into the toe, but Cockram seems to have got the edge over Roberts here in his Gentleman of Salvage livery there, the black and gold. And he's already pulled out a decent gap over Duncan, who is a pretty quick driver himself. So clearly Cockram's got the confidence here in the early stages. Although we are 5 laps in already. How on earth has that happened? And let's go back and follow the leaders. Although Sam seems to have got his gap back up again. As you can see on the track map, not much traffic to contend with for a while. Although, of course, there could be some incidents. This could all change with the click of the fingers. Because there are some very tricky corners around this circuit. And it actually now looks like Petty and Milne is the closest battle we can take a look at. Milne might have got a run here. Let's see if we can see that run by going on to an onboard shot. And they are actually matching each other for pace at the moment. It doesn't appear that he's catching. Although if you look at the top speeds of the drivers, which we've got on our timing screens here, Milne is a full 7 kilometres an hour quicker than Petty over the last lap. So, I mean, that is going to be the draft, but it's clearly not helping him get past at the moment. Petty is showing he is stern opposition. But let's go and have a look at Cockram and Roberts again because they appear to have caught up with Flock. So we've got a nice 3-car battle starting here, perhaps. Although, as I say that, Cockram has taken the bus stop inefficiently and is now a second behind. But we might as well stick with these two. These two drivers have raced a lot against each other in the last few months. They know each other well. They know they're going to give each other respect. So we should see quite a good battle between them. Are we going to see Duncan try and get revenge through the toe? No, he's just happy to follow Cockram as we go through here. And they'll take the long back straight up to the hill. Is anything going to happen up here? To ride on board with James, it doesn't appear like Duncan's going to have done anything. So let's go and have a look at a different battle. We've got Ben White here. And oh no, that's bad timing. He has lost it. That gives Foskett the position. We've also had Flock and Cockram. Duncan Roberts go through. Is Dunn going to be able to get through? Possibly. Oh, he's letting him go through. I suspect Ben White has got damage. We might see him peel into the pits here. He has got a fast repair he can use. Doesn't want to risk perhaps. Yeah, he's going to pit. You don't want to risk doing a whole lap with that damage just in case you have severely damaged that car because the pit stop isn't going to cost you too much. Oh, that's an innovative live from Cockram there. Is that going to give Roberts a good run here? It doesn't appear that he's lost out too badly from there. You got away with that one a little bit, James. Well done. Although Bennett and Isherwood, I think Paddy Bennett's just gone past Isherwood. Although has Isherwood had an issue? Yes, he's just spun. Oh no! And he's taken out what looks like Colin. No, not Colin Nicol. That will be. Oh, is that Ben White? That's very unfortunate. What's happened there? Just coming out of the pit lane, perhaps. I wonder. And oh, that has absolutely scuppered his race. But that turn 1, not normally a place you'd expect to lose the car. It's normally as you come around this low grip boot section, as you come into the hill and then turn 9. As we're on board with Gavin Petty now. He has still got Milne for company. They're still neck and neck. There won't be any replays in this coverage, unfortunately, because of issues with watching a non-live replay file in SDK. I haven't been able to get it working, and every time I try and go back live, it will go to the end of the race. So rather than potentially ruin coverage of this. We're just going to have to hope that we can catch the action. Although I'm sure we're going to miss plenty because, again, we've got 25 drivers still on the main lap here. Let's go and have a look at Colin and Graham Nicol, who appear to be neck and neck as well. Got the 162 here of Graham with the car 18 of Nicol just ahead. Nice iRacing UK livery on Graham's car there. Colin is using the whole of that corner there. You feel the pressure when you're behind someone. He's gone a bit wide. That is dangerous into turn 9. It's low grip. Is that going to give him an opportunity? They are very close. But we might have to sack this off because it looks like Gavin Petty and Stuart Milne are neck and neck into the bus stop. And Milne appears to have got ahead. So that was a nice tidy overtake from Milne. Although, if you look further ahead as well, Lamy's caught up with Hermer. He's had a much quicker, well, he's had a 2/10 quicker last lap. So he's keeping him honest. We were expecting Sam Hermer to perhaps go shooting away because he is the, if you go by iRating, he's the highest rated driver on the field. But Jerome is not a slouch either, and he is keeping him honest so far. But let's go back to this nickel on nickel action because they are still neck and neck. Where on the circuit? They're just coming up to the bus stop, so this is the potential opportunity. Although actually, Graham has got ahead of Colin already and is defending that line. Didn't really need to do that there. Is that going to cost him as we come into the outer loop? Doesn't appear to have done. Graham looks to have made that move stick. But if we go a bit further forward then, Milne and Petty, they are still fighting neck and neck with each other. This is possibly going to go on for the whole race. Same with Hermer and Lamy, just ahead of these two. Difficult to know which battle to stick with. Perhaps if we go and have a look at Hermer and Lamy, we can see the other guys in the background. And that appears to be the case. Lamy is just tucked up behind Hermer. They are both maximising the track there. Coming back on before the grass, because that is not worth taking, even though it does slightly straighten out your re-entry. You just don't want to risk damage to the floor or a slide. It appears that Nathaniel Simpson's had an issue. He's lost it as well at turn 1. Doesn't appear to have taken anyone out. But he's dropping right down the order, and that's put Chris Foskett up into 5th, so he's having a very good race so far. As is Dare Flock right behind him. And then we've got James Cockram and Duncan Roberts trying to join the party. So we've got a nice set of battles all the way through the top 10 here. No one's really left on their own yet, except for perhaps Shane Dunn in 9th, who's got gaps either side. But here we are on board with James. He's actually lost Dare and Chris a little bit, so we're back to sort of couplings again. So let's go to Hermer and Lamy as they enter. I think this is the hill they're approaching, turn 8. I suspect we'll see later in the race a few moves into there because it is a no-taking opportunity, just because it's so difficult to try and do anything into the next corner, so you can defend it if you're compromised on your line a little bit. But we've got so many pairs of drivers throughout the field, trying to cover all of them because it would be good, obviously, to see if we can get a look at all of the drivers. We've got Nathaniel Simpson here now with Martin Brandon for company just in front. Simpson's slightly out of place in terms of his pace, so he will be desperate to get ahead of Brandon here. But does he have any damage from his spin into turn 1? It does look like Brandon's taken a slightly defensive line into there. That's not always a good idea, and it's allowed Simpson to get neck and neck, and that's given the inside line into turn 10. And he's got the move done. That's very well done from Nat Simpson. Just shows you the trouble. If you go slightly wide into turn 9, there is so little grip there, and it is terrifying. And we've got Milne and Petty here. They're going side by side again into the bus stop. Who's going to take it this turn? It looks like Petty's got back ahead. So this battle is really going on for the whole race, and it's impressive they've managed to get 10 seconds clear of Chris Foskett there while still battling each other, because Chris is not a slow driver. He is fast. And yet, we've got these top 4 in a league of their own today. Again, it's commiserations for the likes of Laubscher and Aberdeen and Cranswick, who I think we would have expected to see as part of this top drivers battle. I'm sure we'll see them again in 2 weeks for round 2. But it looks like Martin Brandon has been trying to get back ahead of Nat Simpson. I'm not sure if he's managed it. They are side by side. Or was that lap traffic? That was lap traffic. Perhaps that's how Nat Simpson got caught, just by having to worry about some of these cars that are a lap down and might have damage as well. It's a bit tricky to see exactly who's who on circuit with 35 drivers. I believe on track we've still got, it looks like 31 cars are still driving, with unfortunately Isherwood, Watts, Hooper and Laubscher, the four that haven't been able to continue. As we look at the Roberts and Cochrane battle, which is another one that has been going on for the entire race so far. They've been neck and neck. Roberts has got a good run out of the last turn. Is he going to try something into turn one, or is he going to wait for the better opportunity? No, he's going for it now. Let's see, can he make it stick? He's got round. That's very well done. Is he going to be able to defend it now? He's got a long straight to worry about, and that is lap traffic behind them, so they can afford to battle a bit. It does appear that Webb in ninth is still a good 6 seconds back, so they can afford to fight. But if they work together, they could catch Dare Flock, who was 3/10 slower than Duncan on that last lap. So they've got the pace. And it appears Duncan has kept that into the bus stop. So perhaps he's running slightly lower downforce too. At the moment, the closest guys on the circuit, well, there's multiple. Paddy Bennett, I believe. Oh, we've lost someone in the background there. That's one of the Nichols. I believe that's Graham Nichols. Lost it in turn one as well. So turn one is proving quite a tricky corner today. Not necessarily what we'd have expected. But here we've got Paddy Bennett and Colin Nicholl. They're going side by side into the bus stop as well. We might as well just leave the camera on the bus stop because this is where all the action seems to be happening so far. Paddy's got the inside line into the bus stop. He's got slight edge and he's gone through, and they've both gone wide. Both survived there. That just shows you how hard these drivers are pushing to try and get track position. As we have to go back again to the leaders because these guys are neck and neck. Milne is currently in front of Petty, so I believe he must have gone back ahead at some point. As they're coming down the main straight into turn one. These are the two closest drivers of the top 20, in fact on the track in total. We've appeared to have lost Dan Smith as well, who's had to go to the pits. That's unfortunate for him. He was running quite well before that. I believe he was in about 26th. As we've got Petty and Milne. Is anyone going to try anything here? They've been very sensible. This race has flown by. We're on to lap 12 already, so we're more than halfway through. And they're going to go side by side. Petty's got the inside. He's actually gone ahead. That is an excellent overtaking move. Has he got it slowed down through the bus stop? He appears to have done so. So well done, Gavin. These two are giving each other lots of space. They're being very respectful and they are racing hard. It's been a very good watch so far, if I say so myself. As we appear to now be, well, I say a battle of three. Duncan Roberts has got ahead of James Cochrane and Carl Cranswick behind them, who is probably a slightly faster driver if he's not holding any damage, but he's being polite and not getting involved. Well, I say that. He is right up behind James there. He's probably taking advantage of the draft. I mean, it must be frustrating for Carl. He was a complete passenger in that first corner incident. Nothing he could have done. That was completely out of left field, and it's cost him a big haul of points today. But Duncan currently seems to have the measure here, so let's go and have a look at another battle. So we've got Nat Simpson and Nathan Willoughby. Has Nat Simpson got the move done there? He has, as we're coming out of the tow. Although we're going to see a fight back here. Nope, Nat Simpson's got that done, so he's fighting his way back up quite well after his turn one slide. And you can see he's already pulled a bit of a gap over Nathan Willoughby, who is himself a very quick driver, so he can feel good about that. Going to have to keep going back to the Petty Milne fight because they just cannot get rid of each other. Shows you the power of the draft on this circuit, although these are very evenly matched drivers. And is Milne going to try and take this position back from Petty? He is going side by side. Are they going to do it? He's taken it, although Milne is going to have a compromised exit. He seems to have coped with it okay, though, so we're going to the outer loop. And he's got that position back. This is incredible racing from these two. And let's go and have a look at Cochrane and Roberts again, because these two cannot be separated. It doesn't appear that Cochrane's chosen to make a move into the bus stop, although perhaps I'm not giving Roberts enough credit there. He is keeping James behind ably. Let's maybe give Sam Hermer in the lead some coverage, as he's been coping ably with the challenge from Lamy so far. As we come through here into turn 9, again Hermer is maximising the track, although Lamy is too. This is just showing you the expertise of these top drivers. This is how they've managed to get a 5-second gap over Stuart Milne and Gavin Petty, who are themselves not exactly slow. As we can see from the fastest laps of the race so far, as 38.85 from Hermer, but a 38.9 from Lamy and Milne, and then a 39.1 from Petty. So these guys are not hanging about. Oh, big slide from Lamy there. He's lost a lot of time there. But Petty and Milne are even closer. Goodness me, how are we meant to keep track of all of this? Although it does almost seem that's worked out for Milne, because he was so compromised early, Petty sort of had to get out of it as we come into the back straight. Although they are now side by side. Is Petty going to get ahead? He is staying behind. Let's pick up another battle here. So we've got Mitchell Webb with Shane Dunn in front of him. Is he going to be able to make use of the draft? These two have been sort of side by side the whole race. They've both made 6 positions up. They're into 9th and 10th now. They'll be very happy with the top 10, I would say. Just shows, you know, if you can keep your race clean. Is Webb going to go anything for here? He's got a slight pace advantage. Dunn is defending and has kept him behind so far. Again, still 6 laps to go. That's 6 opportunities into the bus stop, and it's not like you can't overtake on the rest of the circuit. It's just how much time do you want to lose battling when Nat Simpson is on a charge behind, just 2 and a bit seconds to go. He can catch that. He was ahead of these guys earlier, and he wants those positions back. But we cannot leave these two, so we go back to Milne and Petty coming round into turn 10. These are not really overtaking opportunities. Sam Hermer here has got a bit of traffic, who's got out of the way, so that's good to see. So Lamy is going to continue not really challenging anymore, but 2.5 seconds is still it's enough of a barrier that you have to stay switched on. Sam Hermer's not won this race yet. There's still plenty of time to go. So we see what on earth is going to happen between Petty and Milne on this lap. So it looks like Brandon's just overtaken Nicol, although Graham Nichol's gone into the pits, so something's happened to him, unfortunately. That brings Edmund Webb back into the top 20. I think he will expected to be slightly higher up with all the chaos. He must have been caught up somewhere earlier. But, you know, we've got a lot of drivers here today, so anything could happen. I mean, as we've said before, Paddy Bennett up 20 positions into 15th. Ryan Empringham, we've not mentioned either, is up 16 into 13th, so he's doing very well too. No move has been made between Petty and Milne on this lap. I think they've needed to just have a lap or two to relax after trading places so often. Although is Webb and Dunn are going to be going into the bus stop. They're close together. Nothing happening this lap yet. So let's see if we can find a driver who's just starting the lap that we haven't covered yet, perhaps. So perhaps David Hatton we can just have a look at for a bit, just to see how he's taking the race. Just someone who's had a slightly quieter race by the looks of it. He's up 16 places. I believe he started in the pit lane, which, as we see from that first corner incident, it probably was a good decision, because I'm not sure where David qualified, but he wasn't right at the back, I believe. And he's just running his own race here. Yeah, just nice and calm. Although he's running through the middle of the track there, it's not a good idea to do that in some of the open wheelers, because there's a slight crest in the middle of the track and it can lose you just a few miles an hour. So really you want to be on either the outside or the inside edge of that straight. It's not going to cost you a huge amount, but if you're in a battle, it can do. Oh, and Dare Flock's had a problem. He's dropped straight into the pit lane. That's very unfortunate for him. But it does promote, I believe Dunn and Webb are now into 9th and 10th, and we've got Nathaniel Simpson in 10th, so he's nearly made back all of those positions he lost. Duncan Roberts in 7th, he qualified 17th, so he's done very well here. But Webb remains the closest driver to someone on the circuit, with Shane Dunn just in front, who's been keeping him behind very well, I must say. He's not really had to defend heavily from what we've seen. So maybe he's just got a slightly lower downforce setup. Although, as I say that, they are getting very close here. There's going for a move. He's got the inside, and I think he's let him have that. That's sensible driving from Dunn. Webb got a very good move done there, but Dunn's made sure that he's not taken them both out, because they can keep fighting for these positions. Because Nat Simpson is catching right up. He's only a second and a bit behind now. And these guys have got 4 laps to try and keep him behind. With a bit of draft, anything could happen there. And 8th and 9th is a good result for these two as it stands. Ben White, it appears, is also looking for a move. I think he is with Ryan Empringham here. Oh, and he's going for it there. Oh, yeah, no, that is for position. Empringham's probably made a mistake there and just let him have that not turned in, because that could have taken them both out. But we were just saying Empringham 16 places up. Ben White started in 10th, so there's a slight pace disparity there perhaps, and maybe that was just Empringham making sure that a faster driver didn't take him out. But we've got 2 in a row here, and then number 63, which is... Oh, it might not be 63, it might be someone else. I can't see a 63 in the timing screen. But I believe it's lap traffic anyway. Yeah, it's 93 of Jack Ralph, although he seems to be at the same pace of Empringham there, which can be a bit awkward when you're the lapped car. But something might have happened at the front. Yeah, because Hermer has now got Lamy for company again. Perhaps some lap traffic has got in the way there. And with 3 laps to go, Lamy has cut that 2.5 second gap straight back down to nothing. Are we going to see any last lap heroics here from Lamy? Because this would be a pretty good feather in his cap if he can get back ahead of Hermer. And they've got another lapped car in front of them. Is he going to be able to give way to them a bit better than perhaps the other ones were? Looks like it was Lee Balmer. We didn't see what happened, so it might just be one of those things where it's tricky for the lapped car to be able to get out of the way. And we've gone wide there. Oh, and that's Hermer's been able to take him on the inside. And he's slowing down to let him through. That went about as well as it could have done once the car went wide. So that's quite sensible driving. But Lamy is so close now to Hermer. This could be a right battle for the last 2 laps. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's go on board with Lamy. That is not Lamy, that's Hermer. There we go. And that was the fastest lap of the race for Lamy there. So it wasn't just that Hermer was caught. It's that Lamy is really going for it. Are we going to see a move here into the bus stop with 2 laps to go? They're getting closer and closer to each other, and so are Milne and Petty behind. We can't really focus on that right now because this is for the lead. And Lamy's going to go for it on the outside. Is this going to end in tears, or is Lamy going to get it done? Oh, Hermer's kept the inside. Lamy's just about kept control of the car as well, but Hermer has defended that fantastically. And he's now only got 1 more bus stop to cope with. And obviously the rest of the track as well. But we've seen this is the main overtaking opportunity. Want to give a shout out to the Robert Simpson-Dunn Webb battle. But we want to stick with these 2 because it's for the lead. But you can see there's 4 cars there fighting for 7th. And they are neck and neck too. Simpson really close in the middle of the 2 of them there. But oh, Lamy's slowing down. Something's happened to Lamy. He's losing it. Sam Hermer looks to have this race won. Has Lamy run out of fuel? I can't think of anything else this might be. This is going to promote Milne and Petty into a battle for the podium. Let's go. Here they are as they come past Lamy. Oh, that's heartbreaking for Lamy. He was on for such a good result there. And yeah, he appears to have run out. Oh, he's killed himself. He's gone straight into the barrier there. Probably out of frustration. It is a slightly longer race than the officials were. But here we go with Nat Simpson, who has now got ahead of Duncan Roberts, Sean Dunn and Nathan Willoughby. Oh, he was already ahead of him. Actually, something must have happened to Roberts because Cochrane is miles up the road. So Roberts must have had it going off somewhere, unfortunately for him. It's dragged him back into this battle. And Nathaniel Simpson has reclaimed most of the places he lost. Mitchell Webb was promoted up into 6th and has got quite a bit of space there. But we're on the last lap now here. Milne and Petty still fighting for that 2nd step on the podium. Who's going to get it? This is their last time into the bus stop. Milne isn't defending it. Petty's got the inside and they're neck and neck. What is going to happen here? And Petty has gone for it. And he's just about made it stick. But Milne's going to be able to take the inside here. Do they touch? No, they're still side by side. This is anyone's game. Because now Petty's got the inside into the next turn. Milne's made sure he's to leave spacing there. And now he's going to have the inside for the next turn. Who on earth is going to get 2nd out of these 2? Poor Sam Hermer is going to be going across the line in a minute. And we are not going to watch it at this rate. And so far, Milne's got it. But it looks like Petty's got a better exit out of the toe. So as we see into the hill, we're going to see another move. We've got lap traffic as well. That's the car 2 and car 8. So that's Flock and Giffen who are fighting for position. So they're not exactly going to want to give way. And they're going side by side into the... Oh, and they've got a dive there. And it's forced the number 7 of Milne onto the outside. He's still ahead. He's slightly defending. Petty thinks about it. Hermer's come across the line to win the race. Congratulations, Sam. Apologies we've not watched you. But we need to know what's happening here. Looks like Stuart Milne has just kept Gavin Petty behind there after a 20-lap battle. That is incredible. Let's go and get on board with Shane Dunn now, if it will let us. Because, oh, he's lost it. He was fighting there with Martin Brandon, and he's lost it. So let's see. So any other battles we've got here? We've had Chris Foskett come into fourth. Well done to him. That's an excellent result for him. Nathaniel Simpson looks like he's recovered seventh there. We've got James Cockram in fifth. We can just go onto the grid view now. Yeah, so we've got quite an interesting race has happened there. We've still got battles going on. Dunn and Hatton appear to be close. That's the top eight across. Duncan Roberts in eighth. Nathan Willoughby coming across in ninth. And Ben White in 10th. Well, that was a race. I mean, we've still got stuff happening. But let's go and have a look at Edmund Webb as they're coming through into the hill, because this is still a fight for position with Marcus Hudson. Is he going for it? Webb sent it on the inside. Has he got it? Hudson's had to leave the space, but now he's got the inside. And that's the better line as we come around here. Webb had to try it. It's the last lap of the race. Is he going to try anything here into turn 10? That would be exceedingly brave. Is he going to settle it? He's just going to have to look. Oh, he's looking on the outside of the last turn. But Hudson's defending that. And I don't believe Webb will have a run. It's quite a short start and straight line here. So, yep, Hudson's defended that. So we've got action right until the last second there. That was exhausting. And Colin Nicol there in 26th, I believe, is the last car to come across the line. So let's get the race results up. So these are unofficial. Sam Hermer takes the win to take 60 points. He's won the race. Milne and Petty round out the podium there. Look, a tenth of a second separated them, and they were within a second of each other for almost the entire race. Chris Foskett's had quite a lonely race, but he'll be happy to finish fourth, followed by James Cockram, who was the victor in that battle with Duncan Roberts. Mitchell Webb's finished sixth. Nathaniel Simpson seventh. Duncan Roberts is eighth. Nathan Willoughby just pipped Ben White to the line for ninth and 10th. And then we've got Ryan Empringham, Martin Brandon, Shane Dunn, David Hatton, Marcus Hudson, Edmund Webb, Ryan Annells, Dare Flock, Leslie Griffin, Lee Barmer, Carl Cranswick, who has recovered to 21st and will be desperate to get a higher position next time out. And then let's have a look at the remaining drivers. We've got Jack Ralph in 22nd, followed by Graham Nicol, Paddy Bennett, Mark Cadmore, Colin Nicol, Jerome Lamy, who, very unfortunate, was running a second and has ended up 27th. Peter Staither in 28th, Alfie McGarrity 29th, Dan Smith 30th, Lee Aberdeen, who got caught up in that early incident and made a few more laps but wasn't able to finish, along with other non-finishers, Duncan Watts, Jack Isherwood, Sam Hooper and Matt Lauscher, who has finished last, having won the previous race. That is incredibly unfortunate for him. And I believe that is the end of round one. We'll see you next time out, hopefully. Where are we going to visit? I will just have a quick look for you. It appears, will be at the Hockenheim Ring. That could be a very interesting race. We've had other iRacing UK races there recently with the Race of Champions and the race against the German Discord community. So hopefully we can live stream that one for you, and we'll see you on Twitch in that case at, I don't know the URL. I should have researched that before starting. Any of you that are still with me, thank you for listening today. I've been Chris Rowlands, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.